Hello and welcome to Mermaid Crocheted. Today we'll be making this darling Christmas tree Shiesty. For this pattern you will need a red yarn, a white yarn, a green yarn, and an accent or contrasting color yarn of your choice. We'll be using a 4.5mm crochet hook, some scissors, and a yarn needle. Let's get started. First, we'll need to make a magic ring. Wrap the yarn around your fingers and hold the tail in place with your ring finger. Place the hook under the top loop of yarn and over the back loop of yarn and pull up. Chain 1 and 2. We'll now work a total of 11 double crochets into our magic ring. To make a double crochet, we'll yarn over and go into the magic ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Continue working double crochets into your magic ring until you have a total of 11 double crochets. Once you have your 11 double crochets, you're going to slip stitch to join into the very first double crochet. Then we'll pull our tail and close the magic ring. From here we'll chain up 2. Make sure the ring is all the way closed. This will be round 1. We're going to work 2 double crochets into the very first stitch. 1 and 2. And we'll continue working 2 double crochets into every stitch of this round. I will meet back up with you when we get to the end of this round 1. Okay, I've reached the end of round 1, and now we're going to slip stitch into the very first double crochet to join. Chain up 2, and we'll begin round 2 with an increase stitch. So we'll be working 2 double crochets into the very first stitch of this round. Then 1 double crochet into the next, 2 double crochets into the next, and 1 double crochet into the next. Continue working this pattern of 2 double crochets in 1 stitch, 1 double crochet in the next for this round. Once you've reached the end of round 2, we're going to slip stitch into the first double crochet to join and chain up 2. For round 3, we'll be placing 2 double crochets into the very first stitch of the round. One double crochet into the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, then 2 double crochets into the next, then 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Continue working this pattern until you reach the end of round 3. Okay, for round 4, we're going to chain up 2, work 2 double crochets into the very first stitch of round 4, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, 1 double crochet into the next, and the 3rd double crochet into the next, then an increased stitch into the next, so 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. Continue working this pattern of 2 double crochets into 1 stitch and 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches all around for round 4. For round 5, we'll chain 2 double crochets into the first stitch, then we'll work 1 double crochet into the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Two double crochets into the next. We'll continue to work this pattern of 2 double crochets into 1 stitch, 1 double crochet into the next 4 stitches. Continue working this pattern until you've reached the end of the round, then we'll slip stitch to the first double crochet to join. For round 6, we're going to chain 2, work 2 double crochets into the first stitch, then 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches. We'll repeat this pattern of 2 double crochets into 1 stitch and 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches all the way around. Okay, we've reached round 7, so we're going to chain 2 and work 1 double crochet into every stitch of round 7. When we've reached the end of round 7, we'll slip stitch to the first double crochet to join. For round 8, we're going to chain 2 and work 1 double crochet into every stitch of round 8. I will meet back up with you when we've reached the end of this row. Okay, so I'm completing my final double crochet of round 8, and we'll be working our slip stitch. Started as normal, but then we're going to complete this slip stitch with our contrasting yarn color of your choice. So once we have made that slip stitch, we're going to tie our contrasting color to our red yarn and snip our red yarn so we can crochet right over the top of our tails. Okay. Let's begin round 10. We'll chain up 1 and we'll work a single crochet right into that very first stitch. Then another single crochet into the next. And I am placing those tails right behind the stitch I'm working into and just crocheting right over the top of those tails, so I don't have to go back and sew them in later. And this is the pattern for round 10. So continue working 1 single crochet into every stitch of this round. Okay, we'll be completing round 10 with a slip stitch. Begin it as normal, and we'll be color changing to our white yarn. So loop that onto your hook and complete that slip stitch with our white yarn. Then of course we'll tie down to secure that in place, and we can snip our contrasting color. For me, that's silver. Okay, so we're beginning round 11. We've chained 2, and now we're going to work a half double crochet into that first stitch. A half double crochet, you yarn over and go into your stitch, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Continue working 1 half double crochet into every stitch of this round. For round 12, we're going to color change to our green. So we'll slip stitch into that first half double as we normally would, but we're going to color change to green and complete this slip stitch. Secure your green yarn. To begin round 12, we're going to chain 3. Then we'll be skipping the next 2 stitches, yarning over twice. So yarn over, yarn over. We're going to insert our hook into that 3rd stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, 1 and 2, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. That is our treble crochet. We're going to begin another treble crochet. So yarn over 2 times into the very bottom stitch, the front 2 loops of our treble crochet. We're going to insert our hook. Right underneath those very bottom front 2 loops of our treble. We'll pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. I'm calling that a picot into our treble. It's probably something a stitch I've just made up, but follow me and we'll make a Christmas tree. So we're going to do that once more. We're going to yarn over our hook 2 times. We're going to insert our hook into that same space. So right underneath those front 2 loops, those bottom 2 loops, we're going to pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. And we've just made our first cute little Christmas tree, and we get to repeat this pattern all the way around for this round. So again, we're going to skip 2 stitches. Okay, 1, 2, and into this 3rd stitch, we're gonna work a treble. So yarn over, and right into that 3rd stitch, we're inserting our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we'll start our picot trebles. So yarn over, into the bottom of our treble, those first 2 front loops. We're inserting our hook. We'll pull up a loop, okay, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2, okay, beginning that 2nd picot treble, yarn over, into those same front 2 loops. We're going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Okay, we'll continue working our little Christmas trees into every 3rd stitch until you only have the last Christmas tree to make, and then I will meet up with you to show you how to join. Okay, once you've reached your last space to work your last Christmas tree for the round, we're going to begin it as normal. So a treble crochet, great, and then our picot treble, we're gonna insert under those front loops, and then we're gonna insert into the first chain we did. Okay, pull through, then finish it as you normally would, and then you're simply going to slip stitch into our first treble, but we're going to change our yarn color, so we're completing this slip stitch with our white yarn. Okay, so grab your white yarn and complete that slip stitch. For round 13, we're going to chain 1, and we can snip our green yarn now and crochet over his tails. Okay, so we've chained 1, and we're just gonna work a single crochet into that very first stitch and 1 single crochet all the way around for round 13. All right, and I will meet back up with you at the end of round 13 for our next color change. All right, so we've made it to our join. We're going to begin as normal and attach our silver and complete this slip stitch with our silver yarn tied to secure. We can go ahead and snip our white yarn. Round 14, we'll begin with a chain 1. Then we'll work 1 single crochet into the first stitch. And we'll continue to work 1 single crochet into every stitch around for round 14. We've made it to the end of round 14. We're going to begin our slip stitch join as normal, and then we'll be color changing to red. So we'll complete this slip stitch with red. We'll secure our red yarn in place. Okay, we're ready to begin round 15 with a chain 2. Then we'll be working 1 double crochet into the first stitch and 1 double crochet in every stitch for round 15. And if you'd like to, just go ahead and crochet right over the top of those tails so we don't have to sew them in later. I'll meet back up with you at the join. All right, we've reached the end of round 15. We'll slip stitch into the first double crochet and chain 2. In round 16, we will be creating the space for our eyes. So to do this, we're going to be working 1 double crochet into every stitch until we reach the spot in our round where we have 16 stitches left remaining. We're going to leave those 16 stitches unworked. If you wanted a bigger size for your eye space, you can leave more than 16 unworked. 16 is what worked out for my purposes. So yes, just keep working 1 double crochet in every stitch until you have 16 stitches remaining. Okay, here we are. I've worked 1 double crochet into every stitch of this round. I've left 16 stitches unworked. We will now chain up 2 and turn our work and begin on round 17. For round 17, we'll be working 1 double crochet into every stitch across until we reach the other side of our eye space we created. Once we've reached the other side of our eye space, we're going to make a chain of 11. Okay, find the first double crochet you made for row 17 and slip stitch to join. Chain 2 and turn your work. In round 18, we'll be working 1 double crochet into every chain space that we made. So find the little back bump on each chain and work a double crochet in every chain across. Okay, once you've made it across the chain, we'll just continue working one double crochet into every double crochet around. And once we've made it to the end of the round, we will slip stitch into the first double crochet that we made. To begin rounds 19 through 26, we'll chain 2 and we'll work one double crochet into every stitch of the round until we reach the first double crochet of our round. Slip stitch into the first double crochet to join, chain 2, and start the next row. So this is the pattern for rounds 19 through 26. I'll meet up with you when I've reached the end of round 26. Okay, we've reached the end of round 26. Slip stitch to join, chain 1, and we're taking a look at our work. From our row that we worked into our chains, we should have 8 rows. You can fasten off or you can slip stitch with a color change, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to slip stitch and color change to my white. This is just going to put a nice little border on the bottom of white for contrast. I think it looks really nice. Snip your red, you're all done with that. And we'll do this round on the bottom of white single crochets into every stitch around. Okay, when you've reached the end of this row, you can slip stitch to the first single crochet, chain up 1, and cut your yarn and fasten off. Now we'll be working a white single crochet border around our eye space. To attach our white yarn, we're going to insert our hook, place the loop of white yarn on our hook and pull through this stitch like a slip stitch, chain 1, and now we are ready to work one single crochet into every stitch around our eye space. Of course, I'm going to encourage you to single crochet over the top of your tail so you don't have much to sew in when we're all done. Keep working one single crochet into every stitch around our eye space. And once we've worked our way all the way around, we will slip stitch into the first single crochet to join, chain one, and fasten off. All we have to do now is sew in our tails. I like to make one extra knot just to make it really secure. I'm going to work my yarn right in the middle of my stitches if I can, so it looks as though I had crocheted over the top of this tail. Okay, once the yarn is sewn in and well hidden, go ahead and snip the end, and we'll sew in the tail on our very bottom row. So let's get this turned right side out again. And look how adorable this is. I just love those Christmas trees. It's so cute. I love this project. Okay, our last tail. Let's get it sewn in. Again, we're just going to try and hide it in between the stitches as though we had crocheted over the top of this tail. There we are. Now we can snip and we are all done. Thank you so much for crocheting with me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to see if you've made this Christmas tree shiesty. You can tag us on Instagram and Facebook at Mermaid Crocheted. I would love to see your work. Please give us a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.